Who dares to able to actually go inside the forms of that particular graveyard? Shiver me timbers. Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm back for some more of yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom for the PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube, and of course Xbox. Also, I like to able to notice from this fact that we're about to be revisiting back into the original game, as you can see right there. Not the remake, mind you, just because I'm still managed to able to play that particular remake as of now. So anyway, last time we have managed to able to, I would say that we did manage to 100% for everything in terms of Kelp Forest as it is, in this case most people's least favorite world in the game. And today we're about to begin the new world, which appears to be the Flying Dutchman's graveyard.
The graveyard of ships. Somewhere among this haunted mess, a fearsome specter waits.
Alright, so here we are at the Flying Dutchman's graveyard, and as you can tell, that, well, there's nothing else we can do, apart from the fact that we can just walk straight to the Flying Dutchman.
Oh, yes. Who dares disturb the Flying Dutchman?
It's me, SpongeBob, sir.
I don't need any cookies.
But I'm not a Shell Scout.
Look, kid, I'm too disturbed to scare the bejesus out of you right now. Come back later.
What's the matter?
It's these darn robots. They've thrown me off my own ship, they have. Being thrown off your own ship is like having your pants pulled down in front of casual acquaintances. It's a sad, sad thing. Now those robots have got their own pirate ship, and they're blasting away at each other.
Is there anything I can do to make you feel better?
Well, now that you mention it, get up to my ship and use the cannons to single-handedly defeat the robot ship. Any questions?
Is that adorable hat available in a size 3?
No, but if you do this, a golden spatula be your booty. Now get going.
Okay, so let's go in and continue, and looks like we have another enemy encounter. And speaking of that particular final enemy encounter, as you can see, because I say the final regular enemy encounter as I stated that before, this is because this is the final enemy introduction in cutscenes in journey forms of the whole entire game. So as a result, basically in order able to, excuse me, how dare you knock me back as soon as I'm able to be done with the bubble missile attack. Anyway. So yeah, with these particular enemies, as you can see, all you have to do is the fact that you can able to do multitude of ways you can able to actually defeat him. It's the fact that, as you can tell, that he got himself the actual shield on himself. And basically, all you have to do to defeat them is the fact that we have to able to destroy the shield before you're able to attack him properly. Now, as a result, if you do manage to able to destroy that shield, oh, and by the way, something's worth mentioning too, if you manage to leave that particular enemy for too long, what happens is the fact that you would be able to actually let the enemy shield go back up again. So as a result, you really don't want to do that, because otherwise you'll be probably going to be able to actually just to not knowing of what you're going to do for this point. So, but I digress. So, yeah, how's it been doing? Basically, it has been a very long time actually since when we actually gone back into this game, basically, because I know for the fact that, well, generally speaking, that me and Mario did recently finish up with our Let's Play of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 since about like a month ago at this point. Well, at least despite the fact that still the actual the Tokyo 2020 Olympics has been postponed. So as a result of that specific matter, we don't care because we usually just go show you guys every single series of any other gaming industries or something like that. So either way though, another thing is worth mentioning too is the fact that it has been, as I said before, it has been such a quite a long time since we're actually coming back into this game as far as the Let's Play is concerned. Although the only thing is though is the fact that I'm so used to with the remake version of this game now. It's most likely because of how the fact that I've managed to play the remake recently on my my PlayStation 4 version, and as well as the well, I don't know if I might as well do the Nintendo Switch version. Well, I might as well able to say that right now. That until when it gets to the point until likely next year or a year after, then we can probably tackle through the remake version of the game. Well, at least depending on how many views out there that they really want to see the actual remake of the game or something. So, but I digress. So, because today's date, of course, it is the 18th of August today, in this case in 2020. So naturally speaking, we're still in the halfway point in August already. And talking of which, actually, is the fact that recently, that Piglet, he's pretty much going to be almost wrap things up with the films of the entire Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest so far. So naturally speaking, is the fact that he recently managed to go through the final world, and all he needs to do now is just the fact that he was able to tackle through the secret world. In this case specifically, the true final world in the game, which I'm sure he already explains about this, is the fact that the true final world is of course the well, the Lost World, not to be confused as Sonic Lost World or Lost World Stage in Sonic Adventure and stuff like that. But either way though, that's for discussion when Piglet were able to mention that. Until whenever he managed to able to decide to finish that particular Let's Play, and join at some point until tomorrow. So even then though, it doesn't take that long to able to actually complete some of these platformer dramas and stuff. But, you know, you get the idea. So, well, to be more specifically, the 2D side-scrolling platformers, basically. By the way, if you manage to get touched by the actual black, I don't know how you would call these projectiles, per se, but I like to call it like an oil or something. And basically, if you manage to get touched by that, basically, not only does your black bubbly effects may able to come in, but also that if you try to walk around while you simply got that effect, basically you're able to actually just to slip around all over the place. So yeah, something's worth mentioning. So either way though, let's just go ahead and just activate those switches right here. So that way we would be able to just, well, try and activate some more wall jumps here and there, which even then though, it doesn't look like I'm actually doing right, but at least we could potentially, maybe just trying to shove this over to the other side or something. Or perhaps even maybe, just maybe, I can able to actually move that and then just move the another, you know, the wall jump wall to the other side. And that way, it'll allow me to able to progress. And assuming so anyway. And as far as the actual collectibles in this world is concerned, that, well, obviously, though, we still need to collect about 8 of those golden spatulas in between. But here's the thing, though, is the fact that out of all the actual worlds in this game, the Flying Dutchman's Graveyard, it actually contains the small amount of those Patrick socks. And what do I mean by that? Well, we'll find out whenever we're able to actually just find these Patrick socks, but of course, as you can see, that we got ourselves the first golden spatula in the Flying Dutchman's Graveyard. So that leads us to about 76. So even then, now I think we've got about 24 left of those golden spatulas to find. So hopefully, we would be able to actually just to catch up into the certain segments worth noting for. So either way though, let's just go ahead and continue and make sure we don't fall off, because much like the water, basically if you manage to get into the actual green goop of slime, then you were expected to die instantly. So onwards to the next part.
Ahoy there, Mr. Squidward! Swab the poop deck!
Yes, hilarious. Don't you have a platinum wisp to get?
That's golden spatula.
Whatever. There's one up there.
Okay, so now we need to make our way all the way up to the top So that way we could be able to potentially get ourselves the next golden spatula. Now I do apologize with the actual, I suppose that if you probably would have noticed already, that I was expecting to able to do... Oh god, I forgot about the sinking platforms! I should get used to that. Especially noticeable that I'm still used to with the remake version of this game, despite the fact that it has been quite a few days actually since I've actually come back onto the PlayStation 2. Well, despite with the forms of, well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that I think Piglet has already done the Let's Play of Pac-Man World 2. I think that was the last time we used the PlayStation 2. So, but either way though, we'll just go ahead and just, well, ignore that topic for now, and let's just keep on wall jumping from there. And most of the time, this is where the platforming skills gets a little bit tricky. And plus, if you couldn't tell by the forms of the actual video length already, this is by far the most longest episode we've ever done for the sake of this Let's Play, because as a result, I will try my best if I was going to be able to actually grab every single items in this world, specifically golden spatulas, and most importantly, St. Patrick's socks in between. So hopefully, we'll make it happen. So even then though, let's just go ahead and use Sandy right here, so that way we can able to use her lasso, so that we can able to proceed to those different points throughout the whole world. And talking of which actually, is the fact that usually relatively speaking, as I said this before, since in Kelp Forest, basically we'll be no longer going to be using Patrick for the majority of the time, because in between this world as well as the next world as well, I think we're going to be able to be playing as both SpongeBob and Sandy at the same time. So that way, I just really don't mind about that at all, because usually, relatively speaking, as we established that before, Sandy is by far the most best useful characters we can able to use, especially noticeable how the fact that it just makes every single platforming segment with her a total breeze. Especially noticeable how the fact that if most people seem to really do this as in a speedrun technique, well, basically they always attempt to do that, even with, depending on what version they're going to be playing, that it doesn't matter if it's on the PlayStation 2, or the original Xbox, or even especially noticeable with the GameCube version most likely. Well, this kind of reminds me of something. It always kind of reminds me of the parkour sequences in the forms of in Sonic Lost World, except the fact that we just have to able to actually just well, jump from wall to wall, while simply able to do that in a different perspective. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, all things considered. So, but either way though, that's how it goes basically. So either way though, let's just go ahead and grab this another shiny object right here, and hopefully we'll able to grab some more, and then we should be able to actually spend on the only... really? I just totally missed him. But hey, at least on the upside though, is the fact that since we still managed to get ourselves the final health extension ever since the journey forms within the actual, the third portion of the Bikini Bottom Pop world, that way we can able to actually make things a little bit more easier and safer and with ease. So anyway, another checkpoint right here, and let's grab some more shiny objects, in addition to able to spending some more shiny objects from the bungee jumping sequence from down there, so we can expect what's inside down below. So let us see. Oh jeez, we're going to the actual, well, the actual pool of death. Even then though, it kind of reminds me of that particular ending sequence from Hercules, where basically when Hercules makes a deal with Hades so that he can able to actually get himself Megara as the actual, I don't know, a spirit or something? I know it has been a very long time, or very long while actually, since I actually watched the film, even for the 1997 version of that particular Hercules Disney film and stuff like that, which I still enjoy it even to this day, even from my childhood memories for that as well, which I don't know why that particular film world, which is of course Olympus Coliseum or something, usually appears in every single Kingdom Hearts games, all except Dream Drop Distance. But either way though, I'm guessing it's probably because of, I don't know, the popularity or something? I don't know. And once again, I took the indespeakable death from that stupid enemy right there. But luckily for that particular annoying enemy right there, thankfully these will actually be, well, I wouldn't say the final time we're going to be seeing these guys up until towards the end. Although, believe me, I just always get myself super, like, ticked off by that stupid enemies like those. Even especially noticeable, they always, like, comes up as, like, unpredictable at times, in my opinion. But anyway. Alright, so let's go ahead and just deal with another set of wall jumps from here. I think the best strategy for this is the fact that, well, we're just gonna have to, like, press the X button and just keep on tapping it. So that way you would be able to, well, not to slip off on the walls or anything like that. Although the only thing about this though is the fact that my analog stick can get a little bit too drifty for my liking, but when you get the hang of it though, especially noticeable if you like let go of the analog stick and then just keep on like pressing X all the time, or the 8 button depending on what version you're going to be playing, either the GameCube version or the Xbox version. So but either way though, hopefully we should be able to pass that. There we go. And right from the start, another set of enemy robot ambush. So we could expect we could actually, yeah, we'll just use the bubble missile so that way we can deal with the shield and do it again. But this time finish him off for good, even though despite the fact that my target radius has actually gone way too off at this point. Oh, he's not dead yet. Okay, thank you. Oi. Anyway, let's just go ahead and just deal with more of these robots and deal with even more Tinikis, or Tikis as far as I like to say. And also, I think this is where we're going to be ended up in, I would say, the next part of the forms of that particular, the Flying Dutchman's graveyard. So, alright, so now we got ourselves 78 of those golden spatulas. I think we've got about 22 of them left. So, relatively speaking, I think the next objective from here, that I think we need to hop over to this next part, which appears to be the Dutchman ship, and we should be able to actually find some interesting mission objectives that we can possibly do. So, you get the picture for this point. So, let's activate that. This takes me back all the way from this different section, isn't it? Yep, it is. So, we'll just ignore that for now, and we'll continue the process.
Ahoy there, SpongeBob! Swab the poop deck!
Oh, I already did that joke with Squidward, Mr. Krabs.
Yes, well, it's a good one though, eh?
Oh, sure is.
Here's what you need to do. Destroy all the power generators on the robot ship. Once the power is off, you'll be able to shoot the Dutchman's cannons to destroy the robot ship.
Cannon do, Mr. Krabs.
Okay, so for this particular mission objective here is the fact that if you couldn't tell with the forms of those particular cannons, as you can see right there, basically we need to activate all 4 of these until you're able to actually accomplish the forms of that particular objective or something. So either way, it might not be so bad though, because as you can tell, that it's going to takes place immediately for the majority of the actual Dutchman ship. So, yeah, it's actually not too bad if you get the hang of it, though. So, either way. Talking of which, actually, is the fact that with the forms of the Flying Dutchman's first appearance, in terms of the actual, the TV series and stuff like that, or the TV show of SpongeBob SquarePants and stuff like that, he obviously made his first appearance in, I would say in Scaredy Pants, which is usually it's on Season 1, and because they actually firstly introduced the Flying Dutchman, as far as the spooky, ghost stories for that matter, whenever when Mr. Krabs able to actually just mentioning to SpongeBob about the Flying Dutchman, of how, scary he looks. And then as a result of that specific matter, it only happens at the end of the episode though, for those of you who want to know what exactly what I'm talking about right here. And because of that though, well basically SpongeBob really wants to make everyone else scary when it comes to likely trying to think about a different costumes that you can able to get emphasized with. But it turns out it was actually by the forms of when Patrick managed to able to shave off his head and then able to actually create a curvy ghost and stuff like that, and then as a result of that specific stuff, at the end, Flying Dutchman just accidentally just managed able to see what's inside SpongeBob in this little white, sheet, which actually represents the ghost itself. But it turns out that he got scared due to the forms of there's actually SpongeBob's brain. So, yeah, if those of you know what I'm talking about right here, but I haven't really exactly explained that much specific details because, again, it has been such a very long time since I actually seen a TV show, obviously. Well, besides the forms, there are some clips on YouTube, but unfortunately I can't able to actually watch all of them entirely just because, well, obviously because of how the fact that with the stupid copyright claims and all that stuff. And by the way, this is where we're able to get ourselves the first Patrick Sock, by the way. And talking of which, actually, when it comes to the forms of Patrick Sock's grinding, it looks like we're not doing too bad though this time around, because unlike the previous worlds, that sometimes we have to leave the worlds quite often, and this is pretty obvious because of how the fact that sometimes we always have to get some new abilities for SpongeBob and stuff like that, so that way he can able to do a lot of work, even because of how the fact that if you really want to collect everything, then more power to you. So anyways, let's go ahead and grab some more shiny objects from there. And I do suppose that we do definitely need to use SpongeBob for, just trying to ground pound on that particular cannon. Which, thankfully, the bus stop is just right nearby. And so with that, we can able to actually activate this thing here. And that doesn't end off here, because there's also another switch just beyond over there. Even though despite the fact that I didn't see to activate it properly though. But, really? How does this work? Can I possibly just go and show you Sandy for this? Although we'll just see what happens there. So even then though, thankfully with her lasso, then, okay, there we go. So you have to use Sandy in order to able to activate this particular thing. Or if you can able to use SpongeBob for make your way to that particular segment, as you probably already knows for this fact. So, but anyway, let's just go ahead and just hop over to here, and then try to backtrack for a little bit in the actual ship, so we could expect we can able to actually find the final cannon switch, and hopefully we should be able to actually guarantee to able to get ourselves another golden spatula. So it seems that we pretty much almost at the halfway point, or as far as I like to say, is the fact that we almost at the halfway point in this world so far. And yeah, it looks like we need to go for those platforms, as you can see right there. So hopefully, whenever we time our jumps carefully enough during these segments here, and we should be able to actually activate that particular switch, and that way the cannons will be all ready to fire it up. And that way we can get ourselves another golden spatula, along with this particular another switch that has been inside the treasure chest this whole time. So yeah, we can expect for that particular point right there. So I do definitely notice there's also another golden spatula from up there, but I'll try to able to grab that until later, because for now I will go ahead and use her lasso, so that way we can able to, oh jeez, that was close. Whoa! Okay, there we go. That was kind of scary actually, because I was expecting if my button doesn't seem to react to in time, but regardless of everything else though, I did manage to able to press that button at the right time, so kudos to that I suppose. So anyways, we're now on to the halfway point of this world already, so it doesn't seem that much long to able to actually just to get grips with, especially noticeable how the fact that because of that though, we're actually doing this world pretty decently, but still it can be more accurately some sort of like a semi-blind kind of style, because as you know, that, well, at least I did manage to play the remake version of this game recently, so as a result, when it comes to the PS2 version, is the fact that sometimes I feel like semi-blind sometimes, even especially noticeable when it comes to that specific edition, so, but I digress. And once again, that ever since Journey forms of in the very beginning of in terms of this particular Let's Play, as far as you guys should know, once again, as soon as I was trying to able to prepare myself when it comes to more recording sessions on this, once again, my PS2 won't even start this game up. Like, I seriously don't know what's wrong with it. But anyway, let's activate the actual switch, so that way you're able to activate the actual cannon's fire. And I think, fundamentally speaking, whilst this sequence has been done, then, well, we're going to be moving on to probably the next boss fight.
you did. But now that I look at it, I think I'll keep this golden spatula. It's so nice and shiny. It reminds me of my first buried treasure.
But what about our deal?
Ah, never make a deal with a ghost. Deals don't mean anything to me, except for that great deal I got on a butter churn back in 1873. What a prize, I tell you, nothing beats creamy hand-churned butter.
Wait just a cotton-picking minute, Butter Boy. We did all that stuff, and you're backing out like a sea weasel.
Sea weasel? Ah, them's fighting words. If you want this gold thingy so bad, come and get it.
You're on.
And now we do need to defeat the forms of the Flying Dutchman, of course. And I think we're gonna have to use Sandy for this entire battle because she was the only one she can able to make it for this gap from that particular bottomless pit for that particular point. And basically, here we go with the Flying Dutchman, of course. And once again, he does have 3 health bars, just like the ones and how it does it in the prawn. And especially noticeable with, well, prawn from the likes of Mermaid Layer World, and the King Jellyfish from the likes of the Jellyfish Fields. So as a result, it might actually be pretty easy, but I have no idea what I was going to be doing. But as soon as you're able to keep an eyes open from the back, as you can see right there, well, I think, unfortunately for me, I can't seem to able to get the lasso working. But regardless of such though, it's the fact that we can at least try this again, but thankfully we can able to actually just to know what we're going to be doing. Because basically, all we have to do in this particular battle is the fact that we need to dodge a lot of his attacks, as you can definitely see on screen, which basically you're going to have to able to aim it to its back, or the actual, the pivot point on that specific target, which you see why whenever when he starts to be doing the next attack, which I think it was actually this attack, or is it this attack? No, it wasn't. It was actually coming up afterwards. It's actually this attack right here when he starts to be using his fire breaths and stuff. Yeah, basically he's have to use Sandy, and then you can able to only use her lasso, so that way it'll deals the amount of damage on him. So, but either way though, that's all I can really think about it. Of course, the Flying Dutchman does make a return in terms of the TV series of SpongeBob SquarePants for the majority of the episodes. Like, I do know there's actually one of them is actually by the forms of R on pretty much in the exact same season on season 1, except almost towards the end of that particular season. And that because of that though, that he only made an appearance at the end. Whenever he spotted Captain Krabs, as well as Captain SpongeBob SquarePants, well, to be more specifically, Captain Krabs, and also with SpongeBob and Patrick as pirate mates, or as pirates as a matter of fact. And then they've managed to come across into the Flying Dutchman's treasure chest, and as a result, whatever he did manage to found out the treasure chest, then, well, that's as far as I can say about it. Again, it's been a long time since I've actually seen a TV show, basically, so I must admit that I do apologize for that specifically not so clear description, so, anywho. Alright, so we've only got 1 hit left, so it's just a matter of the fact that we still need to dodge his attacks, and then once you've done so already, then you should be able to actually kick his butt no matter what. So, but even then, I honestly don't think this particular boss wasn't all that hard, so... But, you know, you get the idea for that solution. Because unlike, you know, the King Jellyfish and the Prawn Monster, that only SpongeBob can able to deal the damage on those bosses, that Sandy, she's the only one can able to deal with the damage on the Flying Dutchman, as you see there. So, and there we go. That pretty much takes care of him.
Had enough, you dirty ghost?
Dirty? I'll have you know this jacket has been cleaned twice.
Everyone stop fighting! I think I have an idea!
Here you go.
Oh, it looks like my ship. It's even got all the little mold that flies. How thoughtful. All right, you little rapscallions. Here's the golden spatula.
And to top it all off, we can get ourselves another golden spatula. So, I think we've only got about likely, I don't know how to call that, but I'm pretty sure that we've already got ourselves about 3 golden spatulas left, / 2 left in terms of Patrick socks in particular. So it might actually not take me that long though. Assuming if I was trying to know the actual guide correctly, but we'll just see what happens there. And, is it possible that I can able to reach it? No, I don't think I can reach it from here, so... Oh well. No big deal. We'll just go back in here, and then, if I ever get confused or lost, then, I'm also able to actually do a massive jump cuts in between, you know, different routes in particular, so... Oh, dear me. Sorry I feel a little bit tired for this point, guys. It's nothing to do with the forms of my voice. It's actually gone a little bit slightly off. But to be more specifically, when it comes to today, that I'm feeling extremely tired. Well, there are a couple of reasons why. First off, I couldn't even sleep well last night just because, oh man, my room itself was actually slightly cold. And because as a result, I couldn't feel my warmness or anything. And two, because I keep on like, I'm hearing some music most of the time, specifically Mario and Sonic and Kirby and Zelda related songs or something like that. That, it always just gets into my head sometimes, which even then, I still enjoy those, don't get me wrong, but it's just the fact that it might be a little bit too much when I was trying to go ahead and sleep. But anyway, hopefully by that time until it gets to today, then I'm also able to actually just to make myself a little bit easier time sleeping, so... But yeah, that's how it goes basically. So even then though, not much else we can say when it comes to the forms of the Flying Dutchman's graveyard. I mean, it's a pretty cool looking place though. Like, obviously trying to represent with the haunted kind of environment as far as I'm aware. So there's also a game called the Revenge of the Flying Dutchman on the PlayStation 2, the GameCube, and the Xbox, but I'm gonna tell you this point right about now, you won't be missing a goddamn thing. It's extremely, I don't know, mediocre, which even then, I will still say that the Battle for Bikini Bottom is definitely the best of the SpongeBob games in history, just because, well, I think this is the perfect reason why they just got the remake out of it. So, you know, you probably get the idea for that solution right here, so, especially noticeable how the fact that recently that we've actually got ourselves another remake is about to be coming until specifically next year, which I'm pretty sure that both Duffy and Joel has already mentioned about that ever since in Journey Forms have been, well, in Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games Let's Play, as you know, that, you know, Alex Kidd in Miracle World is getting a remake for next year, which is usually calls it Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX. For, I would say, on the Nintendo Switch, and I don't know about any other platforms, although I'm pretty sure that Duffy and Joel has already mentioned about that in the Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games Let's Play, as you know, along with the forms of the PlayStation 5 events, which, you know, I've already said this loads of times already, that, both of them too, just already pointed that out, by the way, so... I suppose another thing I should probably explain things as well. Oh yeah, we actually just managed to get ourselves about 80 of those golden spatulas, I just realized. So I think we actually got about, like, let's just say 20 of them left. So, even then, we're actually getting very, very close for this point. So even then, we are surely getting close. So, anywho... something's worth mentioning about this too is the fact that you remember when you forms have been, in part 15 of this Let's Play, specifically with the conclusion of the Kelp Forest world, that as you know about the fact that we've actually got ourselves our Sega Game Gear, not the micro version mind you, because it's a waste of money, and because of that though, we did manage to get it, but even then, let's get to the good stuff. It's the fact that the condition on there is actually pretty good, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, obviously the buttons felt responsive, and also same applies to the forms of, it actually comes in with a full 6 batteries and stuff like that, which is actually really cool to able to actually go, you know, obtain it with it. And also same applies that, well, obviously it comes with a freebie game, which is of course Sega Game Pack 4-in-1, which it's probably a waste of my time in my opinion, because I'm never exactly sure of how do I expect with that game. And by the way, as you can see, we got ourselves the second Patrick sock, and we've only got about one more Patrick sock left. so that way we can able to actually find out no matter what when it comes to the forms of the progressioning in terms of this world in particular. So yeah, this might take a while though. And also the screen resolution, especially noticeable on the brightness setting, is actually pretty decent. However though, there's one common issue that most people seem to have found this a little bit more pretty obvious what the actual major issue with certain used conditions of certain Game Gear stuff every once in a while, and that was of course the actual sound issues. Which, if you know what I mean, is the fact that if you ever managed to brought the Sega Game Gear on second hand, whenever you think to yourself that, oh, I'd like to buy one of these, as in the forms of the collector's item, and even especially trying to play them at the same time, well, if you think to yourself that, oh boy, the conditions might actually be pretty good, right? Well, apart from the fact that you might able to come across into, well, assuming if how much the Sega Game Gear usually costs nowadays, like specifically 50 or higher, depending on the forms of how good the conditions are, but as a result of that specific matter though, that most commonly complain about the fact that we actually fall lacking with sound, even for trying to play it on the actual unit itself. I think this is probably because everything else goes all pretty dang quiet when it comes to able to activate the actual sound compartment or something like that. But as a result, I think the only common issue with that is the fact that with that compactor sound circuit board, I think that just managed to able. I think Sega themselves back in the day, they did sort of manage to able to utilize the actual weaker version of that particular compactor unit component, which as a result of that specific stuff, it just managed to make everything a little bit more melty or anything like that. Which as a result, I might try to able to fix that at some point soon. But regardless of such though, we did manage to able to utilize some headphones, although, admittedly speaking, it's the fact that you can only hear the music from mono rather than just stereo. So even then though, something's worth pointing out. So, but either way though, you get the idea for that little solutions I was gonna point out. So, but regardless, the actual Game Gear itself still works, all except in the sound chip or something, because, well, it's the most common problem these days now. Even especially noticeable how the fact that if you're able to try to, like, order the thing from eBay, well, good luck with that, because if you want to get the best experience, then good luck trying to find and hunt down the good condition where it does manage to say, the good sound quality and stuff like that. I was originally trying to able to purchase the forms of the different Sega Game Gear item, which appears to be like full of scratches on the screen or something, but nothing happens for me at least, so. Okay, I somehow did a jump cut right there, but I've managed to able to look up on certain things, and it turns out the fact that if you really want to do this particular mission like I was doing, basically we need to use the bubble missile, and that way we need to block this particular green toxic drainage, and as a result you would able to finally gonna be able to actually access to this next mission. So either way, not too complicated, it's just the fact that I wasn't really paying attention. I think that's why I can usually describe with the fonts of certain aspects combined. So, anyways, now let's activate that, and we'll go ahead and roll ourselves into, well, almost near to the golden spatula cage and stuff. Even though, despite the fact that it might be pretty tricky to control sometimes. Oh, can we even make it? Well, I'm pretty sure we might as well guarantee to make it, so. Okay. At least unlike the ones how it does in Rock Bottom, where basically we did manage to make it for about split seconds, which either way though, it does feel pretty remarkable, rewarding kind of effect, by specifically whenever you're trying to able to speed things up a notch or something, so. Anyways, we've now up to 81 of these golden spatulas so far, so I think we've only got about like 19 of those golden spatulas left, so we will expect we can able to actually get this world finished in time, before, you know, God knows if do or die situation will potentially gonna happen, so. I get the feeling that the next golden spatula, I think we've only got about, 2 more golden spatulas left. So I think another one of them is actually going to be involved around on, I was saying the sunken ship, which it might be seems a little bit too tricky to find because most of the time the camera angle doesn't allow me to see was up on the horizon. I think it was actually, I would say, hold on a minute, let me just go ahead and climb over there. And turns out it was actually gonna be right, like, actually it's not over there. I think it was somewhere, I know it's been such a long while since I actually just managed able to play this though. I must admit that I apologize. Oh, it's right there. But of course we can't get into there somehow. So even then we need to figure ourselves another part of a plan to able to actually make our way into that specific section. But either way though, hopefully we would be able to actually find that no matter what. So, but hopefully we're just gonna have to able to cope with this on foot. So, but you know. Alright, so let's go ahead and, well, just get onto here. And I don't know if we can able to actually just, well, go from there. And, nah, it doesn't look like it. Is it? Oh no. No, it doesn't look like it. It just, like, takes me to the dead end as we go. But, however though, I'm assuming that we might as well able to actually find it as an alternative route, such as, of course, for the sake of this point here. And thankfully, we actually activate that checkpoint to begin with, so that way we can able to get ourselves the next golden spatula for the sake of this world. So, yeah, kudos to that. And I would classify for saying for this point is the fact that, let me just double check on the, well, we actually got one more golden spatula left. And it turns out is the fact that, well, as I said this before already, there's actually one in the top of that particular pirate ship that I was going to be able to explore around on. Well, I've accidentally ignored that for the majority of the first attempt during the forms of that particular first run through for the sake of the forms of that particular segment. But, luckily, we can able to actually now finally try to obtain that somehow. So either way, I would say it's probably best for Sandy to able to actually make your way to that specific destination point, but most of the time though is the fact that sometimes I'm, again, semi-blind most of the time for the sake of the forms of this game itself. Despite the fact that I've managed to play the remake of the game like so many times already on the PS4 version, so... But you know, you get the idea for that solution right here, so... Alright, so we'll just switch well... Usually, relatively speaking, I do apologize with the actual, the commentary itself is a little bit too... Still rough around the edges though, when it comes to discussing on things, but apart from those aside things though, it might not be so bad after all, but still. Anyways, let's carefully walk onto this tightrope, and hopefully, without even like too much falling off all the time, and hopefully we should able to make our way to this particular segment here. And hop onto this lasso here, and then just hopefully trying to find a bungee spring, so that way it will launch us onto the top portion of the ship. And, well, there it is, just around here. And, conveniently enough, we actually got all of the golden spatulas in the Flying Dutchman's graveyard. But of course that doesn't end off here, because otherwise that we still need to hunt down for the final Patrick sock, as you can see right there. So, we were expected to believe that we might as well able to actually just to hunt this in during time, so... Yeah, you get the idea for that little solutions for this point, so... Anyway, let's go ahead and find that, and... Is it this part? Yeah, I think it's probably this part though, at least assuming if I was trying to memorize certain locations throughout. But then again, if I don't find that specifically, then I'm also able to do once again another jump cut just for the sake of the forms of trying to able to find, you know, the final Patrick sock in this world. So, but then again, there's only 3 of them compared to the forms of some of them during the previous worlds in mind. But either way though, it's just a little bit of a convenience that is. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and find the final Patrick sock in this world, and we should be able to fully completely done with this world whenever when, actually kind of think about it, I think we're actually going to be 100% in this world for the sake of this video, which is very surprising actually, because unlike in a past few episodes ago, that we did at least manage to able to done 2 separate parts from these quite a few worlds in between. But this is the only world that we can able to expect that we might able to do this on the first run. So pretty cool, especially noticeable how the fact that we can able to actually expect this in time. So, oh, screw you, you stupid. I always hate knockbacks sometimes. Like, I always really despise knockbacks on this sometimes. But instead of able to take on to that particular pathway... Oh, that's actually the wrong checkpoint, kind of thing about it. And plus, I think this is actually... I don't know if this is actually the correct pathway, I'm assuming so anyway. Yeah, it's probably... It's gonna be the wrong checkpoint or the wrong mission select. So, even then, I'll just quickly hit back in here and, yeah. Okay, we're supposed to go over here. And we're supposed to... What the heck? Anyway. So, anyway, yeah, we're supposed to go over here. And just try to avoid a lot of platforms and such. And then we're supposed to able to actually just to go and wall jump with SpongeBob specifically. And, hopefully it won't be, well, that complicated to able to find around here. So, anywho, so we'll just do that. And, just deal with that enemy, so that way we can deal with, well, just grab some more shiny objects along the way. And, completely ignoring the actual Tikis as a matter of fact, and switch over to Sandy to, well, go across the actual huge chasms of, you know, the whole entire everything when it comes to able to using her lasso for the majority of the time. And if we make our way from the right near where the checkpoint is, specifically this bit right here, and then we're supposed to able to go ahead and rotate the camera around, and we're supposed to go down here, which is in the shadows. And there we go. Does take a while to able to memorize the actual everything for this part, but I couldn't care less than enough. So either way though, and I think fundamentally speaking, we are actually 100% everything in the forms of well, the Flying Dutchman's graveyard now. So as a result, yeah, we are basically done with this. So I think we've already got about one more world to deal with, so hopefully we should be able to actually expect this much, and we'll switch over to SpongeBob, and we'll teleport us back into the first mission of this world, and we should probably go ahead and leave this world for the sake of time, because we actually fully completely done with everything in this world. So, well, apart from that, we'll try to able to grab one last golden spatula for the sake of points, for the sake of the forms of this particular episode. And that was the fact that since we actually still got ourselves about 15 of those Patrick socks as it is, and what can we well, I don't know what I say for this point right now. Excuse me. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and double check on the actual list here. So, at least we can able to actually grab that golden spatula as it is. So, once we're done with that, then we can able to end things off from there. So, but yeah, it's usually as far as I can usually think about it. So anyways, let's grab this golden spatula. And we got about 84 of these things so far. So naturally speaking, we're almost done for the sake of time. And I think we've only got about 5 more socks left for Patrick, so that we are basically pretty much wrapping things up for Patrick's selections of missions, as far as you guys should probably already know. So anyways, I think similar to say is the fact that we're gonna have the endings off at this point right there. So join me next time on Let's Play SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. It's the fact that we're gonna be hit on to the final main world in the game, which appears to be SpongeBob's dream. And this dream might actually be the most interesting of the bunch, because I'll explain more of that until on Thursday. So I'll see you guys on Thursday.